you. Thank you, Deborah, for your extraordinary leadership. And thank you for that really wonderful introduction. I'm reminded of what LBJ used to say when he had an overly kind introduction. He would say, "I wish my parents had been here to hear that. My father would have appreciated it, and my mother would have believed it." So my parents are here with me tonight, and I'm quite certain neither of them believed it. But I'm sure they both appreciated it. To Judy Lichtman, Vicki Szabo, and everyone at the National Partnership, thank you for the work you do every day on behalf of women and families, every single day. I also want to thank my dear friend and advisor, Jean Sperling, who's led the charge on these issues for so many years, both inside the government and out of it, and introduced me to Deborah and Judy. Grateful to Jean, as always. I'm really honored to be here tonight. I am a proud supporter of this organization, and I am just one of the millions of women across our country who owe the National Partnership a huge debt of gratitude. For nearly 50 years, you've been a fierce and faithful advocate for our legal rights. You fought to reform national child support laws and ensure that every child in America could get health insurance. You wrote the first draft of one of the most important pieces of legislation for women ever passed, the Family and Medical Leave Act. We're looking at you, Judy. You fought to end pay discrimination and make it illegal for employers to discriminate against pregnant women. And in the 70s, when a lot of people thought that putting up with creeps was just what you did when you worked outside the home, you fought to name and prevent sexual harassment. Yeah. By changing our laws and our culture, you've knocked down barriers for women and girls at work, at school, and at home. You've made it possible for us to dream bigger dreams and then help those dreams come true. That is why every one of us here tonight, and countless more nationwide, owe you our profound thanks. We're not here only because of the important work you've done in the past. We're here because of the vital work you are doing today, advocating for paid leave, working to close the pay gap, defending our right to health care, including reproductive rights. All of these fights come back to one goal that ties everything the National Partnership stands for: equality. It might seem like a stretch that something as big as equality can rest on something as practical as paid sick days. But we know that equality comes down so often to the daily struggles. Who can afford to stay home and care for a sick child, and who has to lose pay or even risk their job? Who can take time to heal, and who has to show up at work no matter how much pain they're in? Who can do their job without worrying about being groped or harassed, and who has to be on their guard at all times? It's so often women and families who suffer the burden of inequality, and it's up to all of us to do something about it. This is what makes the leadership of this amazing organization so important. Through the battles you've waged and won, you've established the principle that everyone's labor should be valued. Everyone's health matters. Everyone's safety and dignity is important. Everyone means everyone. All genders, races, income levels, ethnicities, and abilities. Everyone deserves health care. Everyone deserves sick leave. Everyone deserves a safe workplace. And everyone deserves a more just and equal world. All of us in this room, we know what it feels like when progress feels like it's stalling, and we don't give up then. This is when we push the hardest. This is when we lean in the most. As battles over healthcare reform keep raging, as efforts to roll back reproductive freedom continue, as we learn more about sexual harassment across professions and industries and realize how many people knew and looked the other way. The brave women of the Me Too movement are forcing a long overdue reckoning, and women are running for office in record numbers. Yeah. People are fired up, and we will insist on equality for everyone. There's a lot of energy for change now, and more than ever, we need the national partnership to channel that energy. We need your unshakable commitment to justice and equality. We need your deep knowledge of the struggles facing women and families and the policies that matter. And we need your experience organizing campaigns and building coalitions. That's especially true when it comes to an issue many of us care about deeply: paid family leave. Yeah, let's clap. Why not? We can acknowledge that the immediate prospects for comprehensive paid family leave are not particularly bright right now. But make no mistake, we are moving forward. We are succeeding at some state and local levels. We continue to win with the public, and history will be on our side because the case for paid family leave is so strong. Economists on all sides ask what we can do to increase labor force participation. The answer? Paid leave. Paid leave makes it possible for more women to join or stay in the workforce rather than having to quit their jobs when they have a baby or their partner or parent gets sick. The Department of Labor estimates that if women in America worked at the same levels as they do in Germany and Canada, 2 countries with paid family leave, we would add $500 billion to our economy every year. Now, whenever we push for paid family leave, someone argues that it's bad for business and bad for the economy. But here are the facts. After California enacted paid leave in 2002, 91% of employers say that it has either boosted profits or performance or had no effect at all. Nationwide, we're seeing more employers offer paid leave, not only in industries like tech and financial services, but also in retail and manufacturing. Why? Because it's the right thing to do, but also because it pays off. It pays off in higher employee retention, greater worker productivity, stronger talent pools, and higher morale. That goes for contractors too. 3 years ago, I worked with Jean and the National Partnership to develop a plan for Facebook contractors. We raised their pay to a minimum of $15 an hour anywhere in the country, and now provide each of them $4,000 for paid leave when they have a baby or adopt a child. Something this important should not depend on who you work for. We need more business leaders to step forward and become public advocates on paid leave and other policies that working families need. Now, I'm proud to be working with the National Partnership to create a women's business council that will engage on all of these issues: paid leave, equal pay, sexual harassment, and other obstacles holding back women at work. If you believe your workers deserve a fair and equitable workplace, and I know all the women and men of corporate America who are here tonight believe that, join us in fighting for all workers. This is particularly important as the nature of work changes. The rise of contracting can mean more insecurity, especially for women and people of color. As companies, as policymakers, as advocates, we need to stay ahead of the curve and ensure that all workers have the security they need to thrive. People are expecting more from their workplaces and more from their leaders. They want to work hard, they want to build careers, and be there for their loved ones. And they no longer feel like that's an extraordinary ask. It's not just women who want this. Men do too. For the men here tonight, Gloria Steinem says that if you're a man and you come to just one gathering like this, you get a pass when the inevitable revolution happens. I want to congratulate all the men here for a tremendously good decision to attend this event. Since 2009, the number of men taking paternity leave in California has doubled. And make no mistake, we will not get to equality in the workplace until we get to equality in the home. I see our culture changing when it comes to another issue I care about deeply: bereavement leave. I know from my own experience how critical it is to have time to grieve and help others grieve. After I lost my husband, we extended our bereavement policy at Facebook to 20 paid days off. And since then, 16 national companies, everyone from Bank of America to MasterCard to Airbnb to Chegg, have joined us in creating or extending paid bereavement leave for their employees. And we're working on growing that number. Anyone at a company who's here tonight, I really invite you and ask you to contact me about this. I'd love to talk to you about joining us. When tragedy strikes, we need to be there for each other. And we need to talk about all of these issues everywhere, not just tonight with a room full of incredible women and men who agree with us, but wherever we go. The National Partnership, like always, is leading the charge. Even in this difficult climate, you're leaning in on paid leave. You're standing firm on what the right policy looks like, and that's the Family Act. Americans deserve a national paid leave program that benefits households at every income level, with wage reimbursement high enough that people can actually afford to take it. No one should have to choose between the job they need and the family they love. I wrote Lean In, and the incredible researcher who wrote it with me, Marianne Cooper, is here tonight. And I founded leanin.org because I want to see more women lead in every arena. We need more women governors, senators, and mayors. We need more women principals, school superintendents, PTA chairs, head chefs, and airline captains. More women leading television networks and movie studios, more women producers, and more women showing us what strong women can be, like Kerry Washington and Gabrielle Union. I know these incredible women, and they are leading not just on screen, but behind the camera, fighting for their industry, fighting for women, and setting an example of what strong women and strong professional women can look like. And more women leading companies like my friend Roz Brewer. More women leaders at every single table where important decisions are made. I don't want to let you in on a little secret, but men still run the world. I'm not sure it's going that well. Our goal is to drop the adjective. One day, we will not be female leaders. We will just be leaders. This is why I'm so proud to support the National Partnership, because you are helping to build a world in which more women lead. A world where women don't have to choose between work and family, and neither do men. A world in which a woman can choose whether and when to become a mother, and no one is held back by harassment or discrimination. A world which takes full advantage of everyone's talent and contributions. That's the world I want for my children, and that's the world I want for yours. And that's the world the National Partnership is helping us build. Congratulations, Judy, Deborah, and this amazing team.